All right. We are back. Sorry for the interruption right there. We are back. Had a slight glitch. Kev, what happened?
All good. All good now.
There's no one to blame, there really is no one to blame. But I swear to God, it's my fucking fault. It's a better sports podcast. It's my fucking fault, but there's no one to blame. Neffy Kevin do. Neffy Kevin do. Neffy Kevin
Don't
do.
listen to what I say or whatever kind of peer pressure I'm telling you.
Do it.
Oh, fucking do it again.
You champion sucks. No one to blame. No one to blame.
I know there's really nobody to blame for this but myself. Well, I don't know, maybe the Buffalo Bills, the Boston Red Sox, or Mr. T, or the Jets.
Wait a minute, Mr. T, are you telling me that you bet on the fight in Rocky 3 and that you bet against Rocky?
Hindsight is 20/20, my friend.
Ha!
Yeah.
The new intro, baby. Great
Love
work to student and a special happy birthday. Our CEO and our favorite guy to hate, Student Body Right. We all love you. All right. We are in the middle of ads. Altered Grounds, $300 off your project, $3,000 or more with the code AGNOTB. If you're in the Midwest, snow removal is at a premium right now. Make sure you hit up Altered Grounds for all your snow removal needs. As a network sponsor, we're brought to you by Kayak Pools. Kayak Pools is the hassle-free pool experience that offers customers the chance to turn their backyard into a fun and relaxing family destination. Summer is over. Now is the time to start thinking about that pool. Western New York area, hit up Kayak Pools. Don't wait. Start thinking about it now. Plan ahead. We're also brought to you by Dubby. Dubby is a game-changing energy drink made with clean, high-quality ingredients designed to help give you a smooth energy boost without the crash. They also offer an electrolyte drink to help keep you hydrated throughout the day. You ready to try it? Click the link in our bio. Use promo code DUE. That's DUE. Get 10% off your first purchase at dubby.gg. Promo code DUE, DUE, 10% off your first purchase. We're also brought to you by Sons of Erie. Based out of Buffalo, New York, Sons of Erie is dedicated to transforming your spaces with striking, affordable art that serves as the perfect finishing touch. I got a one-of-one piece here in the background because I know the owners. I got the inside track. But just ordered some awesome stuff on their Black Friday sale. They have some really good Buffalo Bills pieces, but they just have regular art too, man. Go check this stuff out. Creative geniuses over there, man. They're going to transform your space, whatever it is, man cave, office, living room. They have amazing stuff. Sonsoferie.com. Go check them out. Guys, the hay is in the barn. How we feeling? NFL Week 15.
Ready to go.
I'm scared.
It's a tough slate,
Scared
man.
what?
This is a tough slate.
We're at week 15.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of the bets as much as I'm just scared of losing my baby, man. NFL.
You know what
man.
else?
Over.
Where are you going?
What else?
dude?
Fantasy
Is
football
scary.
playoffs start this week, too.
Minimal college football games this week. Also, that was kind of weird on a Saturday.
Yeah, this break sucks. How they broke it up is
Yeah.
stupid.
It's been tough. I puked all over myself yesterday with my college football bets.
Army, man.
Awesome, dude. Army got
Army.
it taken to him. So I know I've mentioned this before, but my whole street, we live close to the nuclear training facility here in Charleston for the Navy. And my whole street is got to be Navy kids. There's 50 cars lined up yesterday, and they were having a huge party at one of their houses.
They had a good day. They had
a great day. Army -6. Army team total didn't come through. South Carolina State money line. They lost 21-7. South Alabama ended up winning last night. I think they did. South Alabama played Western Michigan last night. I believe they ended up closing that game out. I had fallen asleep. But yeah, bowl season is upon us, guys.
It's the birthday boy. Happy birthday to you.
What did he say? I didn't get to read his comment.
There
He
you
said,
go. There you
Kevin,
go,
put on a
Stu.
hat. Read the room.
I was going right. They were going left.
You got to dink while we're dunking, man.
Yep. Zigging
It's
and
a damn
zagging.
Raiders fan, man. That's what it is.
I looked at your guys' graphics for your best bets already. I cheated a little bit, and Jake, I'm
course you
very, very excited to talk about a couple of yours.
Uh-oh.
Kevin, you had some interesting bets in there that I cannot wait to tear apart.
As
I did
usual.
not have a great week last week. Jake was out sick last week. I did not have
I
a
was
great week on
hurting.
the show. What I did have, though, is another banger ladder day. We talked
Yes.
about it on Tuesday, but Ray McLeod came through all the way to 93 yards for plus 884. We've been on fire with the ladders, and so much so that I know Jake actually built 2 ladders for us today. And I think you were on a third, but just ran out of wood. You ran out of nails. Like, I don't know what happened.
I'll talk about it. It's there.
No more
but,
extensions left.
Yeah, last week I've been getting close. I've been hitting like the first 2 rungs, and it's been there. The Vele one really pissed me off against Denver because he dropped a couple, and then so I went with Jordan Addison last week, and he went off, and I'm at plus 110 for plus 1,000. So I hit 8 rungs on that ladder last week, so that got me really
Love it.
up for this week. So we got a couple good ones. There's nothing more fun than doing the progressive ladder and hitting a bunch of rungs there. And like you are
Progressive ladder is amazing. You're
best.
the guy gets a catch. You don't know how many yards
Yes.
it was for yet. It was 50 something yards. You're scrubbing. What did I get him at? What did I get him at? 3 rungs. 3 rungs. Dude,
Yep.
there's nothing like it, man. It's like one of the
It's the
most
best.
exciting bets in sports.
For
Speaking of
sure.
most
And you're
exciting
playing with
bets-
house money at that point. You know what I mean? Like you're
Oh,
already
yeah,
up.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
If you follow the way we tell you to do it, all you have to do is hit the first rung of the ladder,
Yep.
and it covers every other bet you make on it. So make your first rung of your ladder your biggest bet, and it's going to cover the rest of them. That's all you have to do. That's all we're asking you to do. Okay. Now, we also have one more exciting bet on this show. It's called the Neffy Special. It's a 3-point 10-leg teaser. 10-point 3-leg teaser. Don't know what happened there. Little glitch in the matrix. Jake has not lost one of these yet, and I don't want to jinx you.
I'm not feeling good this week, man. I switched it up. I switched it up this week.
I saw
man.
what you put in, and
Yeah,
you went
dude.
back to your roots. Your first one ever
Yep.
was similar to the one that you put in today.
Yep.
Before let's stop talking about it. Kev, pull up Jake's best bets, man.
Man,
Tough
Jake,
week,
rough
man.
bets.
It is a
rough
tough
week.
week.
Rough week. I didn't want to just take like my best bets and then put them into the Neffy special. I think that's kind of like not the spirit of what we do. It's not about like, regurgitating the same things. It's trying to find creative ways to put the bets together. So that was part of my problem. I would have done some of that, but my best bets are Denver minus 3.5. I just don't trust this Indy team, especially on the road. I like Denver at home, that home field advantage. I think that defense is good, and I think they can put up some points. I like Detroit minus 2.5. I just think they match up so well against Buffalo. As much as I want the Bills to win that game, I really think Detroit can have their way on the line of scrimmage and really take control of that game. And I think they should win it. I'd say handedly, with maybe Buffalo scoring late or something to make it a 1-score game.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm gonna be there too. I'm gonna be sitting and watching the game. Minnesota minus 7. I know it's gone. That line's moved a little bit, so there might be a hook in there at 7.5. But that Chicago team is dead, man. They're dead. I know it's a divisional game, but Minnesota should win that game. I don't really see too much issue with that. So I have Minnesota minus 7 as my 3 best bets. What do you guys think? Any issues? Where am I missing one?
No,
and actually, I like Denver. The Minnesota one is a little scary. Just they played so close last week, and Chicago, dude. Just when you count Chicago out, they're like the Undertaker, dude. And I'm just talking as far as covering. I'm not talking about winning games, but as a covering team, man, I just don't trust Chicago getting that many points on the road. I don't trust Minnesota laying it.
They were
now-
just awful last week, man. With after they
I
fired
know.
Eberflus, like they were so bad, and it's like I don't see a bounce back. Like where is the bounce back from them? Like I don't think it's gonna happen. I
I'm
think
with you.
Minnesota wins that game, man, just pretty handily.
I think it's too many points. I think it should be closer to 3, in between 3 and 4. I mean, they took them to overtime. What is it, 2 weeks ago in Chicago? Now they're going to play in a dome. I think Caleb Williams is actually going to have a good day. I had DJ Moore and Keenan Allen as possible ladder candidates this week.
Gross.
It was super gross, but if you go back and look, my ladder candidate is from this game. Not going to talk about it yet. But yeah, I think there's going to be yards to be had in this game. I don't know if points will be aplenty, but I think yards will be. Now, Jake,
I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
You may know this. When division teams play each other for a second time, is there any kind of trend that the score typically is lower? Is there any data behind that? Do you know?
I don't know. I'd be interested. I think a lot of that would have to do like who the home and away team was for the winning team the first time, outdoor versus indoor, time of year. There's probably a lot of factors in that if you're looking at over under, right, that could influence that score. That would be hard to correlate to the two teams playing a second time. But yeah, it's interesting. I would imagine it's lower the second time, but I'm not sure because of injuries. And I mean, look, we have a new head coach now and a team playing a lot different than they were earlier in the year. So
100%.
I'm not sure. It's a good question.
Kev, thoughts on that Minnesota game?
I think I'm good with the -7. I'm a little scared, to Jesse's your point. Just when you think Chicago is out, they come back, cover. But Minnesota's trying to get ready for this late season playoff run. I think I like Minnesota -7.
Chicago's covered their last 3 division games, and I think they've all been within the last 4 or 5 weeks. They played all 3 teams in their division. Remember Thanksgiving against Detroit, came back and covered. They were back-to-back at home against Green Bay, where they almost beat Green Bay. It was a botched field goal at the end. And then Minnesota, man.
Yeah, I think probably the reason I think I'm good with the Minnesota is the Bears can't run the football. And if they're going to be one-dimensional going against that Minnesota defense and they're just throwing the ball, I think Caleb's going to be in trouble.
Yeah, the Swift injury I think is pretty big with the groin. Shout out Horrible Harry, friend of the network.
Yep, Harrison Phillips.
Yeah.
He's a beast on the Minnesota. That's one guy I wish we had never gotten rid of. Can you imagine him on our D-line right now?
Oh my God!
And he
that's what we're missing
ask
too.
For a lot
man.
of money, dude.
Yeah.
He didn't ask
Jesse,
for a lot of money.
I did a token pickup of him in our fantasy league with the defensive players. He's
Did
on
you
my
really?
roster. Yeah.
Oh, the Shandicapper.
Question for you.
I was waiting to post this because I got a little action. One of my best bets is the Cowboys Panthers game, but we can.
All right, we can wait. Tell her to wait. Hold in that little tease.
Yeah, we have got some Dallas Panthers talk coming up. Hang tight. Our loyal listener, the Shandicapper, up from the northern country, eh?
I always like talking Panthers, right?
Keep pounding.
Got to get purred. Sir Purr, baby. Yeah, Kevin, your point. Caleb Williams threw for 340 yards and 2 touchdowns the last 2 times these teams met.
Yep.
And that was on November 24th. Not a long time ago. Minnesota
up and down the field too, man. They were moving the ball.
Minnesota lets up the 3rd most passing yards in the league. My ladder last week was against them with Ray McLeod. Okay. So, and that hit. So I'm just saying, tread lightly. Now, I don't know. They could get blown out. Jake, you want to round out your parlay and Neffy special?
Sure. So my parlay, I went with a little fun. I like to do something a little different with the 2-team parlay and kind of look for some underdogs. So I went with Seattle at home. I think since their bye, they've been a different team. That defense has been really good. The D line's kind of been getting after it a little bit. And then I went with Tampa Bay going on the road. I think Chargers are pretty banged up. I think that's a spot where Tampa Bay might be able to surprise. Put them both together for plus 419. And then my Neffy special, I went back to my roots. My first Neffy special was over-unders, and so I went back to over-unders. I didn't love a lot of the lines this week. I could have done some with like Kansas City plus points and Detroit points and stuff like that, but I wanted to switch it up. So I went with Kansas City, Cleveland, under 52.5. I think that's going to be a defensive battle. The weather's supposed to be not great there, maybe a little wet and windy. Detroit, Buffalo over 44.5. I think there's going to be a lot of points in that game. I'm not sure there's going to be a ton of defense played. And then Pittsburgh, Philly, I went under 52.5. I think that's going to be a grinded out game as well. Pittsburgh really wants to grind it out. And then I think their defense matches up really well against that Philly offense.
Kevin, you go first.
Yeah, I like. I think I'm on board with all your Neffy special there. I'm looking at your parlay right now. Who's Seattle playing? Green Bay.
Green Bay at home.
No, I think I like Green Bay in that one. Tampa Bay. Who's Tampa? Yeah, Neffy special. I love the over in that Detroit Buffalo game. Pittsburgh Philly under. They're going to run the football. Pickens is out. KC Cleveland got to be under. Yep, I love the Nifty special, which that's Jake's specialty, right?
So far,
Jake has not lost with the Neffy special. My guy is, I believe, 10-0, even missing last week. I mean, he is an absolute animal when it comes to the Neffy special. Just a reminder, the Neffy special, 3-leg, 10-point teaser. So, Jake, I wrote down, I know we left that graphic up for a long time, but I was writing down, I love the under in that KC game. The weather, have you guys checked the weather? It's supposed to have the biggest weather
wet and windy and nasty, I think.
And I have a fantasy question involving Pacheco later that we need to get to. It's going to be an interesting week for fantasy this week. Now, a couple of your bets. Now, I have a defensive chart, as we all know, lit up like a Christmas tree this week. I made new charts, Jake, and I think you like these. These are ATS trends charts.
Oh.
So home dogs, away favorites, away dogs, home favorites. I used against the spread, margin of victory, and against the spread plus minus, how much they over or underperform the spread. So your bets are lining up really nice. Denver as a home favorite, 4-0 ATS, margin of victory of 17.8 points, outperforming the spread by 11.6. Conversely, Indy 2-3 is an away dog, -2 margin of victory, and they're outperforming the spread by 2 points. So obviously, if you have one big blow-up game, it's really going to skew those numbers. But ATS trends, man, there's definitely something there for them. You also had Detroit. Now, Detroit lined up in all these charts. I didn't even write it down because I wasn't going to touch this game as a Bills fan. But yeah, Detroit -2.5, dude. It's
hammer it.
With our defensive injuries,
Jake,
man.
Hammer it, dude.
When you're at the game, though, when you're at the game and you're going to got a Detroit minus.
Hammer it. I've said this was a loss from the offseason. It's a bad matchup. And then let alone the defensive injuries we have, the offensive pieces coming back, that it's not a game where you want to introduce a bunch of new, and a bunch of new is coming back and they're going to try to figure it out. Like, I don't think it's a good spot, man.
Oh, I agree.
It's not a good spot. It's not a good spot at all. Shantastic. That's for the Shandy Capper. We'll get to the Shandy Capper. There we go. That's better.
In Tim Hortons country.
Yeah, absolutely. Your parlay, I got an issue with your parlay. The Chargers, man.
You're supposed to. It's a long shot, man. It's a
yeah. And you've been giving out huge long shot parlays the past couple weeks. Kevin and I usually keep it between plus 100, plus 250. Jake's just been going
Boring.
Moon. Yep. Well, I haven't hit one since like week 2, so
I think the Chargers are a little fraudy to me, man. We could talk about them if you want, but like they're a little fraudy. Like who have they beat? They're banged up right now, man. Like no Dobbins. I think that changes that team without the explosive run element. Obviously, Ladd's banged up and he's supposed to go, but I don't think he's 100%. The dismissal is out now, and
yeah, but they haven't even been using him. I mean, I don't think you call the Chargers frauds. I mean, what has Tampa Bay done that has made you inspire so much confidence to go on the road and beat the Chargers?
Well, I mean, look, they've beat some pretty good teams for one. They beat Detroit. They beat Philly.
Week two, Detroit. That's the.
They're still wins. They're still good wins.
They lost to Denver at home before Denver was good. Now, the Chargers as a home favorite, 4-0 ATS, 11.8 margin of victory, outperforming the spread by 6.8. Chargers after a loss, 3-1 ATS, 5.5 margin of victory, outperforming the spread by 4.8. You know,
yeah.
You picked Denver.
Look at those teams. Whew. Atlanta, they were beating up on Atlanta. Carolina, the Raiders.
Yep.
Them teams both need that though. It's a big game.
Big game.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right there in the wild card.
It's not very often that you have playoff implications from a non-con road spot, but
yeah, for sure.
Tampa Bay going for their division, Chargers fighting for their lives for a playoff spot, dude.
There's a bunch of non-conference games like that though. You have Pittsburgh, Philly, Buffalo, Detroit, Chargers, Tampa Bay. Like there's a bunch of non-con big playoff game or implications.
There's some great games this week. It was a tough slate for sure. I think I like your Neffy special, getting back to your roots with the unders there, dude. I love I don't think the over under in the Buffalo game. I think was it 54? You got it
54 and a half. Yeah.
I think if it was 64 and a half, I don't think that it would matter.
I agree. I think both teams are going to score 30 or right around there. So yeah. Yeah.
Who are you picking for the Dallas Cowboys game? We will be covering this.
That is a hot topic with all the
hot topic. We will be getting to that.
Who knew that Keep Poundin' had so many fans?
Huge implications today in the Dallas Cowboys Carolina Panthers game.
First time they were favored in like I forgot
30 something games. I think
ever.
Like 32 games.
Ever.
Even when Cam Newton was there. No. Just kidding, Shandy Capper. All right, Kev. Bring up your best bet chart. Let's talk through it.
All right. Bengals -5 at the Titans. I just like, I like Joe Burrow on that offense to cover that. Titans are terrible. Their defense plays well in spots, but Levis just kills them. So I like Bengals -5. Texans -3 versus the Dolphins. This is a big game. Dolphins trying to hang in there, but Texans got to keep it rolling. They're at home, coming off a bye. I like D'Amico Ryans getting that defense rolling against the Dolphins and Tua. And then Shannon, to hit on your insight on this game. Panthers still suck, but they are covered. I will take Cowboys +3 though. What is this? Would this be a 3-game win streak for the Panthers? Is that right? Or they're
a 3-game cover streak.
Cover streak. Let down spot for them. I'm not on the Panthers this week. Thoughts, best bets, guys? I know Jesse's got some.
Jesse, you want to go first?
Complete cosign in the Bengals. Complete cosign. You're going to see that pop up. That Texans game, dude. Oof. Both of these teams, man. This is a strength on strength matchup. I think those teams are almost like mirrors of each other. Maybe Houston has a better defense. Maybe Miami has a little bit better offense, but both teams like to run the ball and they like to throw it deep. They both have weapons. They both have quarterbacks who wish they were good and they're not. I don't
think
know.
Miami's inability to run the ball last week was, man, they were bad
Mhm.
running the ball last week. So if they can't run the ball this week, I think they'll be in trouble.
And the Texans haven't been able to run the ball either lately, which is crazy.
And Texans that Aziz Al-Shaair is still out, and that's their bread and butter, their defense, man. That linebacker, that dirty hit on Trevor Lawrence. I was leaning towards taking Miami this week.
Me too, but how do you trust them against a team with a winning record on the road? That's the problem with me.
Yeah, exactly.
I also wonder, like, if the Texans, like, their defensive line can get after it, and if they can get some pressure on Tua early and heat him up early, I think that could change this game. But I think
the
it's
best unit on their defense is their front line
for sure. I mean, Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter, like, they can get after it. And Miami's O line though has been playing well, so. Yeah, it's like you said. It's kind of like strength on strength, Neffy. And who's gonna, who do you trust more to score? And like, man, it's hard for me to trust Stroud. I never thought I would say I trust Tua more, but I almost feel like I trust Tua and his weapons more. Like they've been getting Waddle more involved. Tyreek's been going off the last 2 weeks. Ever since they've been letting Tua throw more these last 3 games, he's been really, really good. And so.
His stats have been unreal the last couple.
Yeah,
of weeks. You'll find him in my player props this week too.
Yeah, so I'd like, do you? That makes me want to lean Miami. But what have they shown that they can go beat a good team on the road? But is Houston a good team? I don't know.
It's going to be a great game. Another game that has big implications here.
For sure. Yeah, Miami loses, they're out.
It seems that way. Is that rock solid?
No, it gets them to 8 losses though. So we're with the Bengals.
Houston gives up the second most passing touchdowns allowed. I think that's going to be big today. I don't know.
I think Miami wins that game, man. I think Miami wins this game. I don't know how Houston scores enough. Miami's run D has been good too, so it's not like I could just think Mixon's going to take over.
It's gonna be a good one. It's definitely going to be one that I want to watch. Now let's get to some Panthers Cowboys analysis here. Okay,
this is a sneaky great game, dude. This is a sneaky great game. Like
this game is gonna be amazing,
right? I don't know about like viewing pleasure, but as far as like close matchup, like a lot of good pieces in this game. Like this is a good matchup.
You're going to see old school football today. 2 teams that run the ball well and do not defend the run at all.
Yep.
2 bad
going
defenses
against each other.
Yeah.
Bad run defenses. Yeah.
Yes. They're horrible. Dallas gives up the most rushing touchdowns in the league. Panthers give up the 3rd most rushing touchdowns in the league. Panthers give up the most rushing yards in the league. Dallas gives up the 3rd most rushing yards in the league. They're right next to each other on my chart. They both pop up on the defensive DVOA, bottom 10. They both pop up on EPA per play, bottom 4. Like this is going to be
over under on both running backs combining for over 200 yards on the ground.
I mean, I would say yes.
It's got to be over, right?
Over.
I would definitely go over. I mean, we'll talk about it.
Dowdle's been good, man.
He has.
He's in my props. He's surging right now, and you know what they're doing? They're sticking to the run with him too. They're giving him more touches. He was getting 8, 9, 10 touches. Now he's getting 18, 19, 20 touches a game, and dude, he's running hard.
I think that's when some of these teams go to these backup running back or backup quarterbacks when they get hurt. Like they like say, "Oh shit, we got to run the ball now," and they establish the run more than when they got somebody considered a starting quarterback in the NFL, and they feel like they got to throw it.
Absolutely. Thielen was a guy that I was looking at for a possible ladder opportunity today, but honestly, both these teams defend the pass pretty well. Thielen's number was low; it was like 55 or something, the first rung for a Thielen passing or receiving ladder. Dallas So obviously Carolina has no trends as a favorite because they have not been a favorite since 1999. But Dallas popped up on the away underdog chart, 3-0 ATS as an away dog, or the margin of victory of 3 points, and they're outperforming the spread by 7.7.
I like
some
a
of that coming
CD
recently,
anytime
too.
here, by the way. If you're talking wide receivers, like his numbers,
I
like
think we
plus.
might talk about that later, Jake.
Okay, because yeah, his number was real juicy.
Yeah, super juicy. We're definitely going to talk
Yep.
about that. We're going to talk about
Yep.
the player props for all these games a little bit later. We have a lot of them involving these teams that we're talking about. I Bengals are one of my best bets this week, man. We'll get into that a little bit further with my analysis. Any more thoughts on these, Jake?
No, I just good luck on the best bets, man. I think a couple of them are tough, man. It was a tough slate. I think this is a
It was
tough
tough.
slate. Yeah.
Kevin's a gut handicapper. Okay, this is what Kevin fires from the hip.
I'm
Hey,
a
he's had some
gunslinger.
good calls. He's had some good calls.
Yep. He's been sick, so I don't know if his gut's messed up this week, or maybe you're getting right, dude. Maybe you're purging.
I've been sick since day one. Parlay, my parlay here. Got Bengals Titans over 46. Kind of ties into our talk we had a little bit. I like the Bengals to put up 30 plus maybe on their own. Patriots Cardinals under 46. Not trusting Kyler. You know which Kyler's going to show up. Patriots, not a high scoring team. Parlay them together at plus 260. And then my Neffy special, as Don in the chat here, Giants plus 26.5 has to be the most unbelievable number of football game that I've ever seen. And that's why it's on my special. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's why I put it on there. Just
I think it's 16 and a half. I think
16
16 and a half on its own though is like a historic number though, isn't it? You don't really see
No,
over
Bills were
14.
17-point underdogs when we upset the Vikings, dude.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
On the road, right? Wasn't that on the road?
On the road, Josh Allen hurdled. Was it Anthony Barr?
Yeah.
I believe I can fly.
That was the Romo game. He was like freaking out. Like, what is going on right now?
Oh, I don't know, Jim.
Nailed
That's
it.
probably where Neffy got that one from. Yeah.
I gotta go change my pants, Jim. Keep it moving.
Yeah, Browns plus 14, Patriots plus
Yep.
16.
16. Got some big numbers on here.
I am.
I like I like the big numbers on these Neffy specials here. So,
yep. If you would have waited, you could have got the Browns plus 14.5. Patriots plus 16. I love that one. The more I think about it, dude, because I was looking at Arizona today. Arizona's broken, dude. It's like they just crumbled. Yep. This pressure of being in front of the division 2 or 3 weeks ago, and
that Seattle road game, man, killed them.
Yes, dude, it killed them. So I think Patriots coming off a bye this week. Why not, dude? Why not? I kind of like the over in that game too.
That's a good call. I think the Patriots could win that game.
Yeah, I think the Patriots could win that game. I had Arizona plus 3.5 against Minnesota a couple weeks ago, and they were up. It was like 19-6. And then I had my butt clench for the whole rest of that game, dude. Just holding on for dear life. I don't know what's up with this team, dude. Bunch of losers. Your parlay, the over 46 in the Cincinnati game.
Yeah, that worries me.
Yes, because this Titans team is such a wild card. Like they went into Houston 2 or 3 weeks ago and smacked them. Right. And then they put up 6 points against Jacksonville last week. And I had Tennessee as one of my best bets last week. So I watched that game from start to finish. And dude, Will Levis might need to be taken out to pasture.
Yeah.
Dude, they're a better team with Rudolph in. You can't tell me otherwise. Because we watched Rudolph play against the Bills, and they threw it 40 times against the Bills with Rudolph, and he looked like a more comparable.
He was at least competent, right? Like,
yes. What's Tannehill doing
like
right
Uncle
now?
Rico out there, dude.
Tanny.
What's old Tannehill doing right now?
No, just use Rudolph. Just use the guy you got. I mean, seriously, Will Levis is out there. You guys watched Napoleon Dynamite, right?
Yeah.
Yo, he
Throw
looks
it
like
over them
Uncle Rico.
mountains.
Yeah, man.
Throw a quarter mile.
Sidearm, throwing it in front of the camera. Like, what is going on, dude? He had two guys wide open in the end zone and threw it over the guy's head in the back. It's like, dude, what are you doing? So I'm a little more mad. Like I said, I had Titans minus whatever it was last week versus the
You
Jags.
big mad or little mad?
No, dude, God hates Jags. I thought I thought I was gonna be on my side. I don't know, dude. McCorkle Jones goes into Tennessee and upsets losers.
No one wanted to touch that Jets Jags game.
Oh, I
Like,
did,
no.
baby.
Yes,
Oh,
look at that
yeah.
segue. I didn't even see your graphic either. I did
There
not
we
even
go.
see your bets.
There we go.
That was perfect.
Woo! All right. So we talked about Cincinnati. Cincinnati can make the playoffs. If you follow King NFL Stats, one of our Dude Champions.
Shout out
analytics
Chase.
guys. Shout out Chase down in the Bayou. He put out a graphic. Honestly, I should have brought it up here, but of how Cincinnati can make the playoffs. Well, first of all, the first thing they got to do, they got to win out. They have to win out, and this is a smash spot for them. As an away favorite, Cincinnati 4-0 against the spread, an 8.5 margin of victory, and they're outperforming the spread by 4 points. Tennessee is historically bad against the spread, but as a home dog, they're 0-2 with a minus 8.5 margin of victory, and they're underperforming the spread by 3.5 points. Smash spot. As a dog this year, Tennessee 2-7 ATS, a margin of victory of minus 10.6, and they're underperforming the spread by nearly 4 points. Cincinnati -5 smash spot. Now, Kevin, you said you liked the over. Co-sign the over in this game because Cincinnati's defense has been bad. Very, very, very bad. And fourth, they show up as the fourth worst defense on my chart. And we both know my chart is the end-all, be-all of defensive charts. There's no other metrics other than my chart. Everyone knows it. Everyone's been talking about it.
Jake might second guess that.
I added
I
defensive
co-signed
DVOA
it now.
for you.
Yeah, I co-signed it.
I started taking. I had to dig deeper. Okay, before the charts was.
I
just
do want a
rainbows.
column though of like last 3 weeks or like last 5 weeks. I do want that.
So where I get my data from, they do not let me separate it because I fully agree with you. But we'll talk offline on how I can gather this data in an easier way. But yeah, it's season long data. It is what it is. Season long trends aren't always the best way to do things. There's good info to pull from it, but past results are not indicative of future results. Is that the phrase?
We'll go with
Good
it.
enough for me.
Hooked down phonics work for me. My wife is somewhere watching this and very ashamed. New York Jets -3. I think this number might be 3 and a hook now. Get your bets in early, people. We tell you every week. Dude, I loved what I saw from the Jets against the Dolphins last week. What we consider a good Dolphins defense. I love the Jets -3 this week. Jacksonville, poorest defense. I know they've been rounding into form a little bit, I guess. Jacksonville also is a little bit feistier at home. They had that game against Minnesota where Darnold threw 3 interceptions. Didn't they play Houston hard at home a couple weeks ago with Mac Jones when Trevor Lawrence got hurt, had a big comeback. So I'm a little scared. And as we know, the Jets, the Jets are such a dumpster fire. But hey, I got my flame retardant suit on and I'm jumping in the dumpster, dude. Let's go. Jets -3, maybe Jets playing alt. Jets -10 today. I think they're gonna put it on them, dude. They got Breece Hall is out.
-10.
Doesn't matter.
Huh?
I play an alt line. Go for it. little sprinkle never hurt anybody. Third one, Atlanta -3.5 in Las Vegas. Kev, you might be able to help me with some of this handicap here in a second, but I think this line is actually at 4-2. Get your bets in early. Atlanta, as an away favorite, 2-1 against the spread, a 6.7 margin of victory, outperforming the spread by 3 points. The Raiders is a home dog, 2-2 this year, -8 margin of victory, underperforming the spread by 3 points. The number was low, and I love the way the metrics lined up. The Raiders on the year as an underdog are 5-7 against the spread, -9.3 margin of victory, and they're underperforming the spread by almost 3 points. I think that's exactly what we need to have happen here today. Thoughts?
Yeah, obviously Cincinnati, on board with that, had the same. I'm just staying away from the Jets Jags, but I think I probably do like the Jets -3.
God hates Jags.
God hates Jags. Jags are awful. Atlanta -3.5. I'm co-signing that. Crosby is out for the year. He's having ankle surgery, so that's good for Tankathon and his health, mental and physical, playing for the Raiders. Kurt Cobain isn't out hitting the Las Vegas Boulevard pregame either, so that's probably good for Atlanta. He's probably staying in his hotel, not hitting the sites. So, Atlanta -3.5, like it.
Jake?
I like it, man. I really, something's really bothering me about that Cincinnati Tennessee game. I think it's one of those like Jekyll and Hyde for both teams, where Cincinnati can just find a way to lose to anybody on the face of this earth, and then Tennessee somehow will show up out of nowhere. And so that game kind of worries me a little bit. Should Cincinnati blow them out? Absolutely, but I don't know. So we'll see. I'm a little worried about that. I do like that Jets number. I think with Maxion in there, I just that you cannot lose that game if you're the Jets and you're still playing starters. Like, I just don't understand. That offense should go off. We'll talk about it a little later, but Devontae Adams is chasing 100 touchdowns. He's at 99. So watch for that. And then then that Atlanta game, like, dude, like, if Atlanta wants to be remotely serious, you have to beat the Raiders, right? Like that game shouldn't even be close. So yeah, I like
Spread
it.
is now 6 points.
That's insane, but it makes sense from the news with Crosby and everything too.
Oh, Crosby's out?
Out for
for the year.
Oh my gosh, get your bets in early, people. I stole this at -3.5 earlier this week. Hey, so if you're like, oh, dude, you're giving out a -3.5, now it's -6. Put it in a teaser, baby. Put it in a teaser. Do a little 6-point teaser there. Get that number down to 0.
Oh, Aaron.
Bond. But get Bond out of here. Every week
I like it, Bond.
Raiders money line with Bond. I got some.
Hey, is Bond my Raiders fan? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No. He's an instigator is what he is.
Bond, I don't want them to win either. Tankathon, man. Tankathon. 30-plus point teaser special.
Can you tell he's in my group chat or what? He always calls me a coward because I love the teasers. He might not be wrong. Here's a parlay for you, Bond. Dallas +3.5 by the hook. Chargers -2.5 by the half point. Parlay them together. 2-1 odds, baby. Neffy special, dude. When the Cleveland number jumped up to 4.5 versus the Chiefs, I grabbed Cleveland +14.5. I'm
Love
on
it.
Dallas +13. And before the news broke for everything, I got Atlanta. Atlanta was -4, so a 10-point tease. Atlanta +6. I feel so confident in this that all three might lose, dude.
Can I use those as my Neffy special for this week? That's how much I like those.
No.
That's trouble. That's trouble. Retro. Yeah, I just think
watch Dallas get blown out by like 4 touchdowns.
What worries me is that I don't know that the Browns are going to be able to run the ball on the Chiefs. And with the bad weather, is Jameis, he's going to be slinging picks left and right. The Chiefs might blow the Browns out today.
But what is blowing out, though? Because the Chiefs haven't scored 30 points this year.
I know. I just feel like they're the more complete team. Pacheco's rounding into form. They're going to be able to move the ball on the Browns no matter the weather. And I don't know if the Browns can move the ball with bad weather against
I think your only thing that would kill you from 14.5 would be if Jameis gets pulled because it is a blowout and he doesn't get his late, touchdown, garbage
I like
touchdown.
Cleveland. I like the Cleveland 14.5.
I think Cleveland could win that game. You heard it here first.
Oh, I was thinking the same thing earlier. All right, you can pull this off the screen. I was thinking the same exact thing earlier.
Right, an ugly game, man. Like, just let Jameis cook a little bit, here and there. A little freak play here, or, I don't know. They got the receivers.
God saved him from his pick sixes. He's good.
The only thing that
out too, though.
He's gonna test it pregame, and that sucks because it's like a hamstring, and the Chiefs are the worst team in football at defending against tight ends. Yes, so that sucks. But yeah, whoever the backup is for Joku, smash all the lines.
Yeah, Chiefs secondary has been so bad this year; they've been getting torn apart. And that's where I think Jameis can maybe do a little bit of something. Just keep it close for us, but. I mean,
do you feel like the weather almost benefits the Chiefs in this one, as weird as it is? Like a clean game might benefit the Browns, right? Where
that's what I'm saying. That's what's making me more nervous now that we're talking about it. I mean, the Browns lost by 13 points to Pittsburgh. They lost by 21 at New Orleans recently. Like I don't know. Makes me a little nervous, but we'll see what happens. All right. Any more thoughts on best bets, parlays, or teasers?
Let's get into the hot action.
Let's get into some player props, the stuff we love to do, baby. Kev, why don't you pull up Jake's player props for us?
Let's go. Started off with Brian Robinson Jr. touchdown. He's scored in 7 of 10 games. I think he's feeling a little healthy here. It's a great spot. It's a game where I think they should score plenty. I kind of sneakily like him for a 2 touchdown day. He's only done that once this year, but I think he's going to get his opportunities. I don't think they'll have too much trouble moving the ball, but at minus 130, I love that spot for him. Zach Ertz over 34.5 receiving yards. He's gone over that number in the last 3 games. I think he's kind of been their security blanket. He's gone over 40 in 2 of them. So I think he'll do that again here. Jordan Addison over 54.5. He's gone over that in the last 4 games. Last game he went over 120. And I think this is going to be another spot where he goes off. I think you're going to see Jalen Johnson probably on Justin Jefferson following him around. And so I think Addison's going to have plenty of looks. Tyreek Hill over 70.5. He's gone over that in the last 2 games. He went over 100 last game and 80 the game before. I think he's starting to cook a little bit, and the Texans secondary can be had. And so I think Tyreek's going to go off. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes over 100. And then last one is Schultz over 30.5. He's done that in 3 of 4 games. I think they're going to need to do that this game where Stroud's going to have to go over the middle to him a little bit. And he'll get 30 and 2 receptions. So that's my player prop best bets. What do you guys think?
I love all of them.
I like the Addison one a lot. He's just been good.
Addison ladder potential, dude.
For sure, 1,000%. I just didn't want to redo the same ladder again that I did last week as far as for the show. But I would totally play an Addison ladder up to 120. The numbers are pretty good again, and totally, I think it's worth it if you want to play an extra ladder.
Yeah, starting that low, I love it.
For sure. Right.
Tyreek Hill's number against Houston, love that. That could be ladder potential in itself. They're starting to get going again, and I think in a game where both teams can probably score, that's what you're looking for. You're not looking to do a receiving yard ladder with a team that could go up so big, so quick.
Right. You want it to be close. Right.
Schultz over 30.5, dude. I love that. I was looking at that. Tank Dell hasn't done much, and I think Schultz has hit this in a bunch of games lately, hasn't he?
3 of 4 games, yeah.
Yeah.
Like comfortably too, not just.
I have played. He's not on my prop bet card, but Zach Ertz, I got him at 33 receiving yards. He's done that 3 of the last 3. Dude, Ertz has scored, and I think in 3 of the last 3 as well.
Yep.
This is something to look at today. Now, again, this could be a game where Washington gets up early, so you need this maybe to hit before the first half. But 33 yards, dude, this was ladder potential for me. I was looking at it, but if Washington,
so was I up to like 60 or 70 yards. I really liked Ertz, but
yeah, it topped out at it topped out at 80. I think it was.
I liked a scary Terry one too in this game, but again, the same reason. Like, if it's not a close game, right, you got to get it early and scare. Yeah. And Terry's really been boom or bust as far as on big plays, and so that kind of scared me away from doing a Terry McLaurin ladder. But
yeah, no, I agree with that. He's he'll see him pop up. You know what I played? I played Zach Ertz to get 23 and McLaurin to get 58 receiving yards, and that's plus 123.
I like that.
A little alt parlay. Where else did I like in that? Oh, Brian Robinson Jr., dude. Yeah, all over him today. He's going to have a great matchup, dude. New Orleans is a team that pops up all over my defensive chart. They give up the 8th most rushing yards, and they give up the 6th most rushing touchdowns. Washington loves to run the ball, dude. Could be a Jaden Daniels, Brian Robinson. I mean, they like to incorporate everyone. The only thing, I was on Robinson a few weeks ago, and then he got hurt. I just hope that he's 100% healthy, and that, you know, we're going to look to need to get these before halftime. That's how I feel in this game.
I agree with you.
Jake Haener coming in for New Orleans.
I almost like a Brian Robinson first touchdown in that game. I think that's one where you can get some good value.
Co-sign that. Put that out there. If you're listening right now, Brian Robinson, first touchdown. Commanders at the Saints. I love that bet.
See what it is. It's got to be close to 500.
I would say 300 to 400.
Plus 420.
There you go. Split the difference. Look at us.
It's a good number.
Love it. I love the props. Jake does the research, people. Kev?
Sick boy, what do we got? What do we got?
Research is not for me. So
what's the gut telling you?
Kev gives us some spicy props every week, though. Kev's always giving me the plus money props, dude.
Plus money. I'm all over
it. That. He's on it. Yeah.
Monroe St. Brown, over 68.5 receiving yards at plus 160. Man, watching Stafford kind of pick apart that Bills zone defense last week in some spots. If the Bills don't get that right, I'm on Rock and hit that quick. AJ Brown, anytime TD, a lot of chatter on the internet, him and his QB. So I just think Hurts gets him involved in this one, plus 120, anytime TD for AJ Brown. Mike Williams, anytime TD, plus 550. So, hey, George Pickens is out. Tough game. Russ going to hit him on a deep shot on one of his moon balls, as Jesse likes to call them. So, yeah.
That is an insane number.
Insane. That is a crazy number.
Insane.
Who's going to catch other balls for them other than, the tight end maybe a little bit? So, yeah, like that. CD Lamb, we hit that a little bit in the chat earlier. Anytime TD, plus 160. Bad defensive game. Both sides they're going to throw the ball. They are going to run the ball, but when they do throw it, it's going to go to CD. Mike Gesicki, over 2.5 receptions in that Cincy game, plus 112. Thoughts, guys?
Go ahead, Jake.
I really like him. I like I said earlier, I love that CD play. I think that number is just ridiculous. I think you have to play it when the number's that high for a guy who gets that much volume, especially in the red zone. The Mike Gesicki one, I looked at him to do a ladder. I got burned by him earlier in this year doing a ladder because they're so hot and cold with when they go to him. But when they do, man, he goes off. This could be kind of one of those sneaky games where over the middle's open against Tennessee and they go to him there. Linebacker play hasn't been great. So I really like that Gesicki play. And then the AJ Brown one, yeah, man, like he was on fire where he was getting in every single week, and then he's cooled off, and then yeah, you heard all the talk, and so is this a spot where they try to force him the ball? I like that one too. And then the
Squeaky
Amon
wheel
Run
gets
one
the
is
grease, man.
yeah, for sure. And then the Amon Run I think is a lock. I think that is a lock for sure. I think he's gonna have a big day against zone. And yeah, I think I'd be shocked if he doesn't go over that number.
Now let me ask you a question on this Amon-Ra. You chose 68.5. What did it start at? Do you know, Kev?
That is the first line that I pulled up when I was doing my research was the 68.5 number. I don't know what the first minus number was. No.
Plus 160 is wild.
I'll tell you what it's at right now.
Because I love that too. And if it's starting at like 58.5.
It's not. It's at 70 now. Over 70.5. It's minus 110.
Wow.
Okay. So get him plus 160 on that, Kev. You're a wizard.
It's gross. Yeah.
You're a wizard. The Mike Williams anytime touchdown, dude, plus 550. Throw a dart. Why not? Why not? I like
Calvin Austin and him, right? That's it.
Pretty much, dude.
Yeah.
The Muth. AJ Brown putting out a Joker thing on X, whatever the hell he's doing, dude. Squeaky wheel, man. You know AJ Brown's gonna show up this week. And anytime CeeDee Lamb is plus 160 to score a touchdown, I would implore you to make that bet. You do not see that very often. I like them all, Kev. I like them all. All right. Let me show you what I cooked up this week. All right. No parlays in the player props this week. Talked about a couple earlier. Cortland Sutton, 71 receiving yards. He's done this in 4 out of 5 games. And Indy has given up the 6th most passing yards in the league. I think with that running game in Denver, dude, I think they're going to have to pass it to Sutton. I'm with it. Minus 113 price on that. I don't think that number is high enough. They haven't really caught up, in my opinion. Sutton's been tearing it up. Tua Tagovailoa, as long as he does not get smoked and gets concussed, over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He has done this in 4 out of the last 4 games. In fact, I think he's had 3 or more, I think, in 4 out of the last 4. I'd have to go back and look at the stats, but dude's been on fire. It's minus 136 for a reason. The running struggles, I think, may continue against a strong Texans run defense. They're going to have to pass it. To Jake's point, I think Tyreek Hill, dude, 100 yards and a touchdown, I think is an awesome, awesome bet today. Yeah.
Cosign.
Terry McLaurin, 68 plus receiving yards. Dude, I've been watching his and Ertz's number just creep up all week long. 68 plus receiving yards, minus 114. He's done this in 3 out of the last 4. And like we talked about, New Orleans gives up the 5th most passing yards. Unfortunately, New Orleans is also not great against the run. So you are running a little bit of risk here, but I mean, Terry can do this on 2 catches, right? And that's stuff that we like to see when we're betting. Justice Hill, over 12.5 rushing yards. He's done this in 3 out of the last 5. He's done it 7 times this year. Most importantly, I think this is game script. I think they get up big. I think Justice Hill may play the whole 4th quarter, and the Giants give up the 4th most rushing yards allowed. Now, I was going to make this my ladder this week, but I heard on another show that they were touting something very similar, and I did not want to say, oh, you're a copycat. But I'm telling you right now, Justice Hill over 12.5 rush yards. I think that this number has already gone up. I think it's closer to 17 or 18 now. So once again, get your bets in early, over 12.5 rushing yards. You could also play receiving yards if you wanted to. The number I saw earlier this week was 14. I bet it. He's done that in 2 out of the last 3, and he's done that 8 times this year, right? I think he's going to get some run today, dude. They're not going to play Henry the full game if they're up. They need to conserve Henry. So I just think game script and recency bias. I think Justice Hill is a good play today. Last one, my boy, my darling this year, Rico Dowdle, 83 rushing yards. These were numbers that we saw in the 40s and 50s not too long ago. Playing a porous Panthers defense that gives up the most rushing yards allowed, the 3rd most rushing touchdowns allowed. He's been getting 18, 19, 20 carries the past several weeks. He's done this in all 3 of the last 3 games. 83 plus rushing yards for Rico Dowdle. Those are my top 5 player props this week.
Yeah, I like, I got Sutton. We'll see that on the DFS chart here later. I like him. McLaurin's going to show up on a graphic here in a couple minutes also. So I'm
Put it in reverse, Terry.
Justice Hill, 12.5. It seems low to your point. They're going to roll in that game. Are they really going to play Henry, late into that contest? Doubt it. And then I'm all over Dowdle. Love Dowdle. Dowdle's been awesome this year for a shit Cowboys team. So
love it. I really like a lot of those. I like the 201 a lot. Sutton, I think for sure. I could see him going for 90.
You've been all over Sutton.
Flirting with 100. Yeah, I really like Sutton a lot. The Terry one only worries me for the fact of, like we said, if they get up early and they're not chucking the ball, he kind of is boom or bust as far as chunk plays. I love the Justice Hill one. I like the rushing receiving ladder. If I was going to do a ladder with him, it would be rushing receiving, not straight rushing yards. But yeah, I really like that play a lot. That's a sneaky good one.
I don't even get offered that with the piece of shit. They don't even offer it. They're too scared. They're cowards.
So yeah, FanDuel 25 plus rushing receiving yards is minus 230 for Justice Hill, but at 40 yards it's plus 125, and then it goes all the way to 70 yards at plus 650, and I think he's got a shot to go that or higher.
And I think he could. He's been running hard lately. They want to conserve Derrick Henry, dude, for that playoff push, and this is not a game where they need to run Henry into the ground.
It's a great goal.
Any other player props that you guys want to discuss before we move forward?
I'd like to talk about the Davante Adams one.
Yes.
So I touched on it a little bit, but he's going for a milestone 100 touchdowns. And he's at 99. And he's been heating up a little bit. And I think they're going to force him the ball some. And it's plus 140, which I think is insane.
Plus 140?
Yes, I think that is a play. Yeah, for sure that I'd be on. I have a sneaky one where I did a 2 touchdown parlay. I did Brian Robinson, I did Davante Adams, and then I did Josh Allen, all doing 2 touchdowns. It's plus 50,000. I bet them each individually.
Yeah.
I bet them each individually, and then I put very lightly on the parlay of all 3. But for all different reasons, I think all 3 of those guys could get in multiple times today. And,
I like that a lot. I wish we built a graphic for that. That's a good one, Jake. I want to look at. So I liked both Garrett Wilson and Davante Adams receiving props this week.
Me too. I looked at a ladder. It's just the value wasn't right there for me. I could see either or both of them going 70 plus, 80 plus. One of them going over 100 easy. I really like both of them in this game. If there's one you lean, I would definitely recommend hammering those lines.
So these Jets running backs, obviously Isaiah Davis. What's up, buddy? Sorry, it's my dog. Isaiah Davis and has got more the fresher legs of the two, but him and Braylon Allen to get a touchdown plus 270. Isaiah Davis plus 350 against.
Is Brees playing though? Is he been ruled out officially? I know he was questionable and he was going to try to play, but I hadn't seen the.
They do have him as
an
minus
update.
12, but I still think those numbers are good. Now I got Devontae Adams plus 129. Still going to co-sign that late in the week. I know those numbers have came down a little bit. A guy that's trying to get a milestone touchdown is plus money.
Yeah, it's insane, dude.
What are
And
you
he's
talking
with Aaron Rodgers, his good friend, who got him his
Aaron.
first touchdown. And so they're trying to do the first touchdown and the 100th touchdown. I think it's just
Yeah.
he's going to get the looks. Another guy in this game that we didn't talk about is Tank Bigsby. He's plus 170 to get a touchdown in this game. And I think this is a spot where you could see him get that. And that's plus 170 for a lead running back is crazy. They fed him last week.
Running back anymore.
He is, dude. They fed him 20 times last week. Like, I think he's going to get the carries in this game. And plus 170 is crazy. Crazy.
He makes me nervous, dude.
Etienne's not even on there. Travis Etienne's plus 250 for a touchdown.
On my book, he's plus 160.
Etienne?
Yeah.
Oh wow, no, he's plus 250. He hasn't been getting a lot of carries.
No, but I think it's the fact that he can catch the ball out of the backfield that makes him a more dangerous threat to score two different ways. But yeah, I know Tank got in the end zone last week. He did have a big game. The injury concerns for me there. There's a couple other ones.
Don loves this play, by the way. He loves
Stone
Smart.
Smart.
Who
All right, so
in the hell is
I'll
Stone
give you the background
Smart?
on this. So Donnie loves Chargers tight ends, okay? He loved the dismissal, Will Dissly, and he was all over him early on him, and he hit some nice bets on him. He's out now, and so Stone Smart's the guy. He played last week and looked good, and so Donnie loves him this week. They got to throw to somebody.
What is his number, Don?
I'll tell you right now.
Just
It's
made
low.
this up, and it was a D's nuts joke. He was trying to whittle into the show.
That would have been
That's probably
amazing.
What
His
about
number is 29 and a half is over under. And I think it's a really good spot. I liked it. I looked at doing a Stone Smart ladder, but that would have just been so gross. And without a guy who's had much of a track record, it's tough to bet on.
There we go. It was 25 earlier this week. I think it's at 30 now.
Yeah, it's 29 and a half. So Donnie locked it in at 24 and a half. It's a good call, though. All right.
Sorry, my mic muted.
Cool.
Had to get
Anyone
a cup of coffee.
got any
I had a
other
couple-
interesting angles, lines?
I do. Donnie brought this up earlier in the week.
Sure.
Aaron Jones, his number was 63, and he tweeted these out. 63 rushing yards. Do Don 8, the number 8 on X.
Be real careful with that one.
Be real careful. There's another. Yeah, I'm not getting into that. Aaron Jones, 63 plus rushing yards. Love that this week. Like I told you guys earlier, Justice Hill, 14 receiving yards. Love that. Dude, okay. So David Montgomery, 3 receptions. He's done this in 4 out of 4 or 5 out of 5, dude. That's plus 124 again. I know it's against the Bills, but still, dude, they're doing something with him and Gibbs. Like,
yeah, I like his over receiving yards too. I did a parlay of over 2.5 receptions and over, I think it was like 15.5 receiving yards. I parlayed those two together. So
okay, I got a couple more. We'll round them out. But before, Jake's got a couple ladders this week. Kev, will you pull up Jake's first one in order?
Yes, sir. I got to hit mine and run because I got we're doing Christmas this morning with my parents, with my kids. So I got to get out of here soon.
Jake,
Kevin was muted. I got Keon Coleman. Now, this is for me. Tread extremely lightly on this one. This is his first game back from an injury. He's only played one game with one full game with Amari Cooper, and that was Amari Cooper's first game. But Keon was trending up his last couple games. He had a 70-yard game. He had a 100-yard game. And I think in a man coverage game, Cooper's going to get the focus. I could just see Keon getting those opportunities down the field and some yak opportunities. So it's kind of a boomer bust play. Again, he's coming off of a wrist injury, so I'm not so worried about his cardio. I think he's going to go. I just worry about if he gets enough snaps. But some of these numbers I think are going to be pretty easy for him to hit. I think he's going to get some opportunities, but again, I would just tread lightly because this is his first game back from injury. But I really like this play. I think he's going to hit that that first rung pretty easily, and then anything from there is just gravy for me. So I really liked this play. I got him on the first rung pretty heavy, and then I treaded pretty lightly after that. But I could see him going all the way to 90 plus yards in this game, getting a couple long ones, especially if the Bills are trailing and having to play catch up, and the Lions love to run a lot of man coverage, man, especially when Josh starts scrambling. Keon was really good at getting open, so I really like this play, and I could see it going to 90 plus yards for plus 1200, which would be just insane. What do you guys think?
With Amari Cooper out there too, I mean, could be good, could be bad. It was Shakir,
Right.
him, and Cooper, dude. It's going to be tough picking each one.
Yep.
But dude, this is the game to do it with Detroit's defense, right?
Right.
Here,
One positive I will say is I think he's a better wide receiver than he is an actor in his commercials. I don't remember what he's advertising for, but dude, it was funny.
That's
Funny
our guy,
commercial.
dude. That's our Buffalo darling, dude. Tread lightly.
Yeah.
He is, man. Yeah, we love him.
I like it, but it's funny.
All right. Here you go, boys. Marvin Mims. Okay. This one I don't understand. Okay. And he's trending up in the last 3 games. He's getting more targets. He's gone over 40 yards in the last 3 games. You saw last week where he hit that one bomb over the middle for a long one, went over 90 yards, but he's gone over 40 yards in the last 3 games with multiple catches. I think he's had 4 catches or 5 catches in each of the last 3 games. So I love this. Yeah, sorry, targets. So I love this one as far as early rungs. 25 plus yards should be no brainer, and 40 plus I think he gets there. And so I really like this play. He's their speed, their deep threat. And so I really hammered the first 2 rungs of this. And then I think all the rest is bonus, and he could easily get over 70 yards. You saw it last week where he is their deep play threat. He did it in one play last week where he got over the 70 plus yards. So I love this ladder. I am all over it this week. This is my heavy play for a ladder this week, and I really like it. What do you guys think?
I love it. I think he took over the little Jordan Humphrey / Devon
Yeah.
Vele role.
Yes. Yep.
For whatever reason.
Yep.
And maybe that's just a Sean Payton keeping it fresh, keeping the other team guessing.
He's the Sean Payton speed guy, right? Sean Payton
Yeah.
always had that vertical threat, ability, and Vele wasn't it, and Humphrey wasn't it. And so, man, it's just, yeah, I'm excited
Cosign.
about this one.
Cosign. Gonna bet the bottom
Yep.
rungs. I don't know if I'll take it to the top. Kev?
Yep, that's a very low number to start. So yeah, I like it.
Jake, one more before you go.
I got a little touchdown parlay here. I went light on parlays this week. I'm focusing more on ladders. I'm a ladder addict now. I have to get checked into Ladders
Laddie
Anonymous. Yeah, Ladder Daddy Anonymous. I gotta go. I need a sponsor if someone wants to sponsor me. I'm just addicted to the ladders. Like we talked about earlier, there's nothing better than hitting the first rung or the second rung and then just on the edge of your seat waiting to hit another one. And so love it. Yep. Laddie Daddy, that is me. So I've stepped away. I started out as the touchdown, anytime touchdown king, and then I went to the parlay prince, and now I'm all on the ladder. So
You're not the
I don't
Laddie
know.
Daddy.
I'm
You're
not the Laddie Daddy. I need a
Addy.
different name. Yeah. So
Laddie Addy, the addict.
there you go, the Laddie
Find him
Addy.
at Home Depot in the Laddie aisle.
Yeah, man, just all over him, man. It's so I did want to cook up a touchdown parlay though. Get back to my roots a little bit. Sup, 10? How's it going? So I went with this one. Jamar Chase, he's been on fire. I think he gets in again, minus 140. I still think that number's too low for how much they're feeding him the ball. We talked about the CeeDee Lamb one. I think those odds are just way too good. Tyreek Hill at plus 140 just seems insane to me. That's right up there with the CD one. Like, how is he plus money? I probably would throw in the Devontae Adams one in here as well. I think that's one to boost this if you wanted to go with more of a lotto. That would probably get you into the 4,000 range for odds. And then David Montgomery, man, he's going to get in against the Bills. Like, they're going to give up a rushing touchdown, minus 145. I think that's way too low as well. So plus 1742 if you put those 4 together. And then if you want to spice it up even more, I would add Devontae Adams. What do you guys think?
Like them all.
I love it. Lamb is the one that's questionable for me, to be honest with you. I'd maybe sub
Adams
sub
for
out
Lamb.
Lamb. Yep. I also think you could add. I mean, there's a million ones you could add, but I think Amon-Ra gets in this week.
Yeah,
I really
for
do.
sure.
With our weak secondary. Thank you.
Yeah, and our bad red zone defense, man. Jeez.
Shout out my wife for a cup of coffee.
Wow, Rebecca.
Jake, thank you
you.
so much for coming in, giving us your
Boys,
time.
thanks for
today.
having me. Sorry, I gotta run early. Christmas.
All good.
Santa's
Jake's
here.
going to the game today, man. Give us
I
some
am.
luck, dude.
We'll see. I'll be live tweeting you my depression or my excitement. So we'll see.
You'll see Jake. He'll have dew painted on his forehead and chest.
Yeah. Yes. I'll be good.
Good to be seen, brother.
Yep.
Good to be
See
seen.
you, Jake.
boys.
Later,
Peace.
man.
Later.
Thank you, Jake, for coming on.
Yeah.
Always a burst of energy when it comes to gambling. The guy
Got
is
it all.
locked
Got
in.
all the
He's
bets. Got them all.
our head of data and analytics here at Do Champions. Jake is the man. Thank you, Jake. Kev, let's hit your ladder. We'll talk about my ladder. We'll talk about a couple other props. We'll get into some fantasy, and we'll get into some DFS.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about Scary Terry here earlier on and off in a couple bets, but starting you off at 68 plus receiving yards at minus 114. 78 receiving yards get you to 123. 88 yards get you to plus 172. 98 yards gets you to plus 242. He gets you over the 100 mark at 108, gets you to 342. And then the max top end they had in the book was 148 plus receiving yards. Got you plus 1585. The only thing I worry about in this is if they get up big and have to run the football and are just trying to eat the clock. But other than that, I mean, I think they're coming off a bye. I like them getting Terry going this week. They got to win, man. It's a big game for them.
Exactly. They need to win. They need to put it on New Orleans. New Orleans' best cover corner plays for Washington now. So Lattimore. And I think Lattimore I think he's going to try and go this week. A revenge game there. Like you said, we're going to need this to hit probably around halftime. I don't think that New Orleans is going to be able to keep up with Washington here. How none of us had Washington in any of our bets is crazy to me. Absolutely love Washington this week. What's not to like about it? I love their head coach. I love their team. Must-win spot. I'm on McLaurin's 68 plus, Kev, so I can co-sign that. And you know what? The best part about that is he doesn't need a ton of catches to get those numbers.
Yeah, I'll get him a couple
1-2 bombs down the field, dude. I mean,
yep.
And that's what you look for in a ladder. I had so many rungs on my ladder, I had to use a different graphic. I'm going TJ Hawkinson. I struggled on who I wanted to play with my ladder this week. Was it going to be Justice Hill rushing yards? I liked Jake Ferguson as a possible ladder candidate this week. I landed on Hawkinson. Now, these two teams had gotten together a couple weeks ago, and it was a bit of a shootout. And Hawkinson had 114 receiving yards in that game. Jake had talked about Jordan Addison having a big game. The Bears locked down Justin Jefferson last time they played. It's always a threat for him to steal these targets, but the Bears are not good against tight ends. So I went with Hawkinson. Let's see if he can get a repeat performance. 43 yards, minus 114. 53 plus 125, 63 yards plus 179, 73 plus 257, 83 plus 370, 93 plus 540, 103 plus 810, 113 plus 1225, and all the way at the very, very tippy top, you might find High Horse Jeff up here on his Bills High Horse, 123 receiving yards plus 1925. Hawkinson has he's got 45 last game against Atlanta. He hit 72 versus Jacksonville. The targets have been there 5, 6, 9, 3, 9. He's, Darnold and him have got a good sync going on. Obviously, with Addison and Jefferson, it is troublesome, but that's where I'm going, man. That's where I felt the most confident. Kev?
I like it. Yeah, I've got Hawkinson actually one of my start sit fantasy questions this week also, but
Perfect.
yeah, I definitely like him in this game.
Yeah, I do too. I think you got to fire him up today. Chicago is not great against tight ends, man. Kev, let's roll into that. Fantasy start sits, man. What do you got this week?
Yeah, I've got this is a reoccurring theme because obviously I told you I got Murray in a lot of leagues. Murray or Herbert. I go back and forth. I've been starting Murray, but yeah.
What are the projected points on both of them? Do you have that?
Murray is projected, and I got him, like I said, literally in 4 of my 5 leagues. Murray is projected higher than him in all of them, but only by a point, 2 points in some, depending on the scoring.
So Herbert's only thrown for 1 passing touchdown the last 3 games, which I'm sure that you know.
Only 1 pick all year for Herbert, too.
Yeah. I think you have to go Murray, unfortunately.
I think the rushing upside always with him is.
Yeah. I mean, Herbert's rushing. Herbert was rushing it several weeks ago, but it's definitely declined. They have a good matchup against Tampa Bay's defense this week. Tampa Bay gives up the 4th most passing yards allowed. I think you got to go the Cardinals, dude. I think you got to go with Kyler Murray. I just think you have to.
Yep.
What else do you
got? Garrett Wilson, need 2. Garrett Wilson, Judy, Chase Brown, need 2.
I think you have to start Brown no matter what. Yep. From there, I think I would go Garrett Wilson. And now Jerry Jeudy with Tillman out and Njoku out, probably going to get fed the ball today. But the weather there. Are you worried about the weather?
Yep. So this one's a little bit different. I need to drop one of these guys. Because I have to pick up either a wide receiver or running back. I can't remember. Kincaid, Otten, Hawkinson.
Dude, I hate to say it, but I think you got to drop Kincaid.
Yeah, that's where I was at. I picked up Kincaid when he got dropped when he was hurt. So I was kind of playing a little game there, trying to, but anyway, yeah, I think I got to drop Kincaid also, but.
I mean, not only has he been hurt, but he
that offense, he hasn't been good.
And now everyone's getting healthy, and the addition of Amari Cooper, a lot of targets to go around there in Buffalo. I think you have to drop Kincaid.
Yep. Neighbors or Judy?
I think I'd roll the dice with Neighbors, man. Baltimore gives up a ton. They're going to be playing through. They're going to be playing from behind.
Yep.
Tommy Cutlet's in. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Here's a good one. Let's hit my the Carolina fans in the chat here. Chuba or Dowdle?
Wow.
Yeah.
I
think I got to go Dowdle, but
man, I don't know. Chuba's been tearing it up, especially Jonathan Brooks is out again. Wow.
Yeah, what a bad injury for him, man. Coming back, but sitting all year and then just gets hurt right off the rip.
Chuba had a massive game versus Philly last week. 26 carries for 92 yards and a touchdown, and he caught 4 balls as well. Now, obviously, he's been getting in the end zone consistently as well. Rico does not get in the end zone like Chuba does, Kev. Rico's got in the end zone 1 time over the last 5 games, rushing or receiving. So I think you go Chuba Hubbard here at home. I know that Dowdle's rushing numbers, 131, 112, 86 the past 3 games, but only 1 rushing touchdown. Chuba's been getting into the end zone. I think you go Chuba Hubbard.
That was a tough one. Here's a nasty one. Last one. Xavier Worthy or Odunze?
I go Odunze there. So Worthy was I had Worthy. I bet him over. I think it's 39. Let me look. Shit, I deleted it. I think his number is 39 yards. So he was going to be ladder potential to me, and then I saw the weather and I got a little nervous. I think Odunze playing in a dome against a really porous Minnesota passing defense. They give up a ton of yards. I mean, Odunze played great last week, right? 4 for 42, 2 touchdowns. But before that, hasn't gotten in the end zone in a while. Decent yardages in a few spots here. Against Minnesota, he had 10 targets last time, and they might be playing from behind. Worthy, I don't think has gotten in the end zone in a long time.
Yeah.
Cleveland's not terrible against the pass. But Worthy's floor as far as targets and receiving yards is probably a little bit better. 6 targets, 7 targets, 6 targets, 5 targets, 41, 54, 46, 61 have been his receiving yards. He got in the end zone 4 weeks ago against Buffalo. I think I go Odunze, man, just game script, but the floor might be a little bit better of a Worthy. It depends. Is that like a flex guy?
Yeah. Scraping the
Do
bottom.
you have any
of the
better
barrel.
options?
Nope.
This is the playoffs too.
No. I mean, man, almost half of my leagues are not in the playoffs this week, which is frustrating.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You got any more?
Nope.
All right. High stakes league. I'm in the playoffs. I'm playing a guy that had Cooper Kupp. So definitely gave me an advantage there.
Yep.
Leveled the playing field. Now my team, dude, I had I was stacked at wide receiver in this league until Rashee Rice got hurt. I went like 0 RB. So Rashad White was like my number 1 running back, and I drafted Bucky Irving late, thankfully. But I do have Chase Brown on my team, who's been lighting it up. I do have Charbonnet. I do have Rico Dowdle. It's a 2 flex spot. Okay. Keenan Allen or Rashad White in a flex position.
Probably. Is it a PPR league?
It is.
Rashad White, I think.
Keenan Allen's been so hit or miss, but against Minnesota, the last time they played, he had 23 points. Against Detroit, he had 24 points.
JM says hit.
Exactly. Double flex spot. And like I said, I have Tank Dell sitting there. Not going to play Tank Dell. I do have Bucky Irving. He's questionable, but it's Rashad White versus the Chargers, or it's Keenan Allen versus Minnesota. I feel like I have to play Keenan Allen.
What time is that game? If Bucky Irving is like truly questionable and you knew he was going to be out, I would say Rashad White, but yeah.
He's truly questionable. Rashad White went 17 for 90 and a touchdown on the ground last week.
Yeah.
He also scored
JM in the chat. Wide receiver seems to be the better of the two.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, if Bucky Irving's out though, and Rashad White is getting.
If you knew Bucky Irving was out, I would say that would be the play. If not,
so Bucky's questionable, and their game's at 425. He's expected to suit up, is what I'm reading right now. So
TB versus Chargers is suspect.
Yep. I agree with that, and I like the Chargers this week too. I just think there's going to be more points in the Chicago-Minnesota game, and I think that favors, Odunze, Allen, and DJ Moore, because Chicago can't run the football, right? We talked about it. So they're going to have to pass the ball, right? Okay. I have another one here. If it will load up. Another high-stakes league that I'm in. Coming down to the wire. We are neck and neck. Come on. All right. So I am in a complete conundrum here. I have DK Metcalf, Jacoby Myers on the bench. I'm starting Justin Jefferson, Cortland Sutton over Myers and DK.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think that's JSN has kind of been the no, I think that's the right play. I think you're right there. Leave
I'm
it.
so nervous of benching DK.
I've got
Sounds
DK
insane to bench
also,
DK.
and I've been playing that same game with him. Man, he has some games where he just doesn't show up at all. JSN seems to be a little more consistent now. Yeah.
So this is a half-point PPR, by the way. My two running backs, I'm firing up Montgomery and Brian Robinson Jr. Now my flex spot, okay? I got Pacheco back. I have Pacheco right now in my flex spot. I think the game script's going to lend him. I think it's going to lend itself to him. But like I said, I have DK, Jacoby Myers, and DeAndre Hopkins sitting on my bench.
So it's going to be a sloppy game.
Pacheco in, or Myers, who's the number one target outside of Bowers. Hopkins, who's playing against a not great defense.
Not the weather.
Yeah. Or DK versus Green Bay.
I think it's DK or Pacheco.
I think I'm going to go with Pacheco. Half point.
Half point. I can see Pacheco finding the end zone.
That's what I think too. What I think too. Is so Ritter and Myers. I don't know. Right? I mean,
yeah. Yep. Winston interception. Pacheco getting the TD.
Shout out
Casey
JM.
Kicker in play. Yep.
Shout out JM for the cosign.
Let's hope the Casey Kicker doinks it off the outside of the post and they miss it and they lose.
Oh my God, those lucky bastards, dude. So Breece Hall is playing today. He's active against the Jags. This makes me so nervous, dude. Would you start Breece Hall or Tank Bigsby in this game?
Breece Hall.
Okay. I think you kind of have to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I have Chubb too, but you don't want to play Chubb against Kansas City.
No.
Okay. How about Bo Nix or Kyler Murray? Same team.
I'll say Bo Nix, I think, man.
Kyler's projected to get more points. I don't know. This might be a get right spot for Arizona. The more I'm talking about it, you never know. All right, so flex. Let's see. No, wide receiver. Khalil Shakir, Jalen Waddle, or DJ Moore. Pick one.
Waddle's been pretty good the last couple weeks. Shakir, Waddle, or who?
DJ Moore. Moore is projected to get the most points here.
I think maybe Waddle, but man, that Buffalo, we talked about it, that Bills-Detroit game is going to be a high-scoring one. Only thing I worry about is Shakir not finding the end zone. He's going to get his receptions.
I might go Waddle.
I think it's Waddle.
With Coleman coming back.
Says no DJ. Neither one. I don't think any of us like DJ.
Yeah, it's so hit or miss with those three wide receivers between Allen, Odunze, and DJ. I mean, DJ had 26.9, 23.7, and then 10.9. When they played Minnesota, DJ had 27 points last time. But I like what Waddle's been doing. I like the good matchup this week. I like Shakir's matchup versus Detroit. Coleman coming back, and they got Amari Cooper though. I don't know, man. I'm nervous there. This is win and get in between me and you in this league too. So thanks for the advice.
Hey, yeah, fade me.
So
fade me.
I had Cooper Cup on this team. So
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
a tough start.
You want to? Let me fire up. Let's go through our DFS. I'll fire it up real quick. Week 15 DFS lineups through FanDuel. I will, Kev. I'll tell you what. Let's not go snake format. Why don't you go down your list and talk about who you got, and then I'll do me and Jake's.
Okay. Yeah, Bo Nix at QB, 7,600. As you'll see in a lot of these, I like to stack some of these. So later on, I've got Sutton at 7,200 at one of my receivers, hoping for a breakout from them too. Rico Dowdle and Chase Brown at running back. We hit on a lot of them in some of these earlier talks. Dowdle we like. Since the offense is going to roll, so Chase Brown likely to find the end zone. Talked about it earlier also. A.J. Brown, 8,600. Him and Sutton are my wide receivers. Judy in the third wide receiver slot at 6,900. Only thing worries me now about that is the weather. I put that in early in the week. So that one, it scares me a little now. Jake Ferguson at tight end, 5,400. Calvin Ridley in the flex at 6,000. If anybody's scoring touchdowns in that game, it's going to be him. And then New England's defense, 3,100. I always scrape the bottom of the barrel with the defenses.
Yep. JM coming. Good and hood. It's all good, baby. It's all good in the hood.
All good in the hood.
Yep. Calvin Ridley should do some magic today. I love Ridley. And you'll see Jake has it too. So I started it's funny. We do not look at our lineups before we post these. And here we are. Here, before I go through mine, we have a start sit question here from Braden. Shout out Braden. Thanks for hopping in the chat, man. Start 2. London, Sutton, Addison, Brian Thomas Jr., Aaron Jones, Connors, and Neighbors.
Jeez.
Whoa. What kind of team is this that you have to start?
Dude, is this like a 5-team league, a 4-team?
Insane.
Holy shit. This is a loaded roster.
I can cut. Oh my gosh. My first instinct is Sutton and Addison, maybe.
London against the Raiders.
10-man league.
Team.
He's saying
10-team, yeah.
shout out you for drafting this amazing team.
PPR league.
If you have these guys and you're trying to choose, the rest of your team must be insane. I like the listen. We can go one by one. I like the matchups just for all these guys. Connor has been a stud. Jones has been a stud. I think you cut Neighbors. Too much to risk there with Tommy Cutlets throwing the ball. So get rid of Neighbors. Atlanta versus the Raiders with Drake London, dude. I kind of love that. Sutton versus Indy, good matchup. Addison versus Chicago, another good matchup. I think you can get rid of Brian Thomas Jr. with Mac Jones. Another one, just not as much upside. If it's PPR,
I think I like London and Addison.
I think London Sutton, but I can go London and Addison as well.
Either
I think
way,
it's your pick between your first 3, London, Sutton, Addison, PPR league. They all have decent matchups this week, though, dude. That is quite the conundrum. Good for you. Good drafting. And JM looks like mine. He's got Barkley, Chase, Addison, Downs, Rice. Love it, man.
Yeah, man.
Leaning between Sutton, Addison, but love Connor's matchup. Connor's got a great matchup. And JM's thinking Addison and Jones there.
You got good options. I mean, that's,
dude, you have too many good options. Thinking about guys getting in the end zone as well as PPR. Woo. Good drafting, dude. Good on you. I'm going to run through my DFS lineup real quick. Quarterback, I went Bo Nix. Like I said, Kevin and I did not know before
Yeah.
before we entered these in here. So I was putting my team in. I'm like, oh, look at us, Kev. All three of us picked these and we put them all in one graphic. We had no idea who we were taking. Running backs, I went Dowdle and I went Jacobs. Jacobs been on fire lately. He's been getting in the end zone. I think they're going to run the ball down Seattle's throat. Give me Scary Terry. I know he's got a bad game script this week, but I think Terry can get a bunch of yards and a tutty. I like Sutton this week. Give me Thielen. Had to go a little bit lower. I think Tucker Kraft for my tight end at 5,200 again had to go lower. And I went with Brian Robinson Jr. in my flex. I think he's got a monster day ahead of him today. New England defense, just because I had to go to the bargain bin. Jake went with Kyler, Saquon, Charbonnet. I love Charbonnet, firing him up today in the league. He had a massive week last week. He went with McConkey. He's rolling the dice. I think that's a good play. Calvin Ridley, as we talked about, got a good matchup. Sutton, we all like Sutton this week. He went with Hunter Henry. Had to go in the bargain bin. I like that. Chuba, we talked about Chuba. Love Chuba. And then having to pull Carolina's defense out against Dallas. Why not? Nothing wrong with that. Kev, closing thoughts here. Big week 15 in the NFL. What are we thinking, brother?
Having some issues with the.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm clicking too much. Whatever one you want to use.
Yeah, man. Like you talked about, getting late in the NFL season, man. It's getting a little scary here. Football's kind of winding down. It feels.
Cherish
like, man.
these moments, people. Cherish these moments. A couple other player props that I like today. How about Jamison Williams to get 52 receiving yards against Buffalo today, -117? I liked him as a ladder. I also liked Amari Cooper to get 47 receiving yards against Detroit. Pick a game. It's got a lot of points, man. Pick a few player props. Why not? I had one more Neffy special. Dallas +13. Dallas, Carolina over 33 points, and Pittsburgh +15.5. A Neffy special teaser is a 3-leg 10-point teaser. Give it a shot. Mikey Cutlet's coming in, going with Sutton in London. Yep. I can see. I'm with you there. Target touchdown potential, both of those guys. A lot of tough ones.
Derrick Henry, 2 TDs. Yeah, 2 TDs early, 100+, and then they'll pull him. That's probably
what are the odds on Derrick Henry 2 TDs? +150, right? The juice, man. I don't know if it's worth the squeeze sometimes with these running backs that get in the end zone all the time. It's like CMC last year. You're having to lay like -300, -350 to get in the end zone. But all right, man. That's a show. Let's run through our sponsors one more time. Kayak Pools, the hassle-free pool experience that empowers customers turn their own backyard into a fun and relaxing destination. If you're in the Western New York area, summer is over. Start thinking about that pool in 2025. Kev, pull up the W graphic for me, please. We're brought to you by W Energy. W is a game-changing energy drink made with clean, high-quality ingredients designed to help give you a smooth energy boost without the crash. They also have an electrolyte drink to help keep you hydrated throughout your busy days. Hit the link in our bio. Use promo code DUE, DUE. Get 10% off your first purchase. DUBBY.GG. Promo code DUE, DUE. 10% off your first purchase. We're also brought to you by Sons of Erie. Go check them out, sonsoferie.com. Amazing artwork, whether you're in Bills Mafia, whether you're just like awesome standout art pieces. Check out Student. Good to be seen, brother. Check out Sons of Erie. As a network, man, Ilio DePaulo's, Fubo TV. We got a million bajillion sponsors. Not going to go over them all. Kev, play that snow removal video. It's on loop, baby. I love it. Kevin, you're muted.
Sorry, I keep muting. I'm coughing here, man. Not feeling well. Don't get caught slipping this winter. They're taking new clients for commercial snow removal for this winter. They can be reached at 618-972-9632. That's 618-972-9632. Go check them out, alteredgroundslandscaping.com. Check out all their stuff on Instagram. Good stuff out there, man.
Altered Grounds, the No One to Blame show sponsored. $300 off your project at $3,000 or more. Use code AGNOTB. The Midwest, St. Louis, Metro East, but mainly Midwest, man. Check them out. Snow removal. Start thinking about that pool, dude. www.alteredgroundslandscaping.com. Facebook.com/alteredgroundslandscaping. And Instagram @alteredgroundslandscaping. Check their work out. I'm telling you right now, speaks for itself. Amazing, amazing product. Kev, are the Bills going to win today?
Honestly, I don't know, man. That has the makings, obviously, to be one of the best games of the year. Which means does that mean it's going to be a low scoring affair now?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I don't know, man. Bills Mafia, we need you today. Good luck to us in Detroit, Kev. Good to be seen, brother. Hey, I want you to play our video one more time as our outro, baby. Good to be seen, brother. Happy birthday, student. And as always, we are brought to you by Do Champions Media Network. Follow them everywhere. Follow us on TikTok, no.1.2.blame. Do Champions Media, man, giving you all the best Buffalo Bills content out there. Hit them up everywhere, man. We're live all the time, baby. Happy birthday, student. We love you.
Yeah, man. No one to blame,
brother.
There's no one to blame, there really is no one to blame. But I swear to God, it's my fucking fault. It's a better sports podcast. It's my fucking fault, but there's no one to blame. Neffy Kevin do. Neffy Kevin do.
Do it.
Kevin
Don't listen to what I say or whatever kind of peer pressure I'm telling you.
Do it.
Oh, fucking do it again.
I know there's really nobody to blame for this but myself. Well, I don't know, maybe the Buffalo Bills, the Boston Red Sox, or Mr. T, or the Jets.
Wait a minute, Mr. T, are you telling me that you bet on the fight in Rocky 3 and that you bet against Rocky?
Hindsight is 20/20, my friend.
There's no one